Hello and welcome to Beyond the Hustle. I'm Alice, a certified NLP mindset and women's health coach, and I'm so beyond excited you're here. This podcast is for the human behind the success, the woman behind the business, behind the grind of building that legacy. Here we dive deep into mindset, rewiring your subconscious mind, nervous system regulation, and energetics. Basically everything that helps you feel grounded and grow sustainably. Whether you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, burnt out, or ready to step into your next level of success and self, this podcast will give you the tools, insights, and shifts to help you move forward with clarity, calm, and conviction. So if you're ready to stop hustling from fear and finally build success that feels as good as it looks, you're in the right place. Welcome to Beyond the Hustle. Hello, and welcome back to Beyond the Hustle podcast, the podcast for building the human that you are behind the business and behind the success. In today's episode, I am going to jump into a little solo episode on your intuition, because I have had a lot of clients coming to me recently and a lot of women in many conversations always resuming back to the sentence, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to launch. And respectfully, when did we all choose to actually just not trust ourselves and not trust our intuition? And ignore our intuition, ignore that gut reaction, and ignore the voice that's inside our head, right? When did we actually choose that that's the norm? Because something that I'm a massive believer on, and something that I massively choose to lean into, is that whatever you are not deciding, you are choosing. If you are not deciding to launch that offer that you've been sitting on for months, and you know it is going to be the thing that is going to allow people to see you for what you really stand for, that it's going to be the thing that really allows people to come into your business, into your service, in whatever capacity it may be, if you are not deciding to launch that offer, you are choosing to stay stuck in no one's interested, no one's buying, it's not going to work. It's also the same that if you are in a relationship, let's say, or a job, let's say, that you're really not happy in and you're really unfulfilled in, and you're deciding not to leave that space, that environment, that relationship, you are choosing to stay in a lack of fulfillment, in a lack of abundance, a lack of happiness, and very much in the fear of what if, and very much staying in but what if this happened if I left? Okay, go and do it then, right? And I think as well with following your intuition, I think a lot of people assume that it's one of those things that when you feel when you have a rush of this is what I need to do, this is what I'm gonna do, or you feel a certain way, let's say something stressful happens and then you feel a gut reaction of, I need to leave, or this isn't it, that I gotta go. A lot of people, I think, assume that that's your intuition, but it's actually not. That's a reaction, not a response. Right? So if you're leaning into your intuition being that when you are heightened, when your emotions are heightened, when you're overwhelmed, when you're frustrated, that's when you lead with your intuition, you're actually leading with reactions, not your intuition, okay? And what I really choose to look at is that following your intuition is actually listening to the answer that you've had deep down all along. And a lot of us definitely know the answer to whatever question it is that we're passing on to other people, or whatever the question is that we're trying to seek approval for to make. A lot of us know the answer deep down. We're just afraid to actually affirm and acknowledge the answer, right? Rather than neglect it, rather than passing off to other people. So following your intuition is actually listening to the answer that you've had deep down all along, instead of neglecting it, instead of ignoring it, instead of just pretending that it doesn't exist and waiting for it to go away and then realizing that it actually never is going to go away and it's probably just going to bite you in the ass later on. That is not following your intuition is very much listening to the answer that you know. And this is where I get a lot of people coming in being, I don't know, but what if I just don't know the answer? And what if actually this happens, and that's you actually again moving with fear and sitting in fear rather than allowing yourself to look at your intuition and listen to it. And one thing that I do know to be true through the work that I've done with past clients, with my clients just now, is that not listening to your intuition very much causes you to become a smaller version of yourself, especially as women as well. We have such strong intuitions, and if you can actually tap into utilizing that in your success, in your decision making, in your businesses, it's the difference between having a version of success that honestly genuinely fulfills you and not. And I don't say that lightly, but if you can actually allow yourself to move with the answers you already know, with the answers you can confidently say yes or no to, or whatever it may be, that's going to increase your conviction. It's going to increase your trust, and it's going to increase and allow you to actually tap into that intuition, which is such an incredible strength and such an incredible power to have as a woman, as someone in their feminine as well. Because one thing I know to be true as well is, through all of my clients, through all my friends who have been in relationships that, they've wanted to leave and haven't, who've been in jobs that they've wanted to leave and haven't, who've, built businesses that they despise and resent and that they then want to burn down to the ground, is by not listening to their intuition, they were actually doing themselves a massive disservice in the long run and trying to avoid the discomfort of actually making a decision. And that's really all it is when you're neglecting that, when you're ignoring that voice that actually knows the answer deep down, is you are just trying to avoid a level of discomfort and avoid potentially a level of pain that you're not ready to meet yet. And that also gets to be okay as long as you're okay with the repercussions of that, of it playing out in a different way. And where you are in a place of not following your intuition, this is going to be where you see a lot of self-sabotage in a way come through. This is where you're going to see a lot of comparison come through. Comparison to other people, comparison to other wins, comparison to launches that other people are putting out, their service, their business, their relationships, whatever it may be. Comparison is definitely coming from, not listening to your intuition as well as other things, but comparison comes through when you actually don't allow yourself to listen to that. It's also going to come through via, you asking for help that you actually don't need. You asking for reassurance and seeking approval that, again, you do not actually simply need, right? And again, by putting it off onto other people, it's more comfortable than you sitting there and making the decision yourself.
If you're listening to this podcast, having a realization that you're always burnt out in business, always struggling to hold it all, from the responsibility to the visibility to the schedule, always navigating the feeling of not having enough time for everything you want to do inside and outside of your success, then this is your sign. Because inside my one-to-one coaching, we don't just place a band-aid on the strategy and call it a day. We dive deep into the patterns, actions, beliefs, and fears that are currently driving your business and keeping you stuck in burnout, overwhelm, and panicking around your growth. This space is designed specifically for the women ready to build a version of success that truly lights them up, that allows them to surpass the 10K months, to hire the team, and to expand without constantly losing themselves inside of it. In every coaching journey, you will receive a personal in-depth audit, diving into your subconscious mind, your nervous system, and capacity blockers, as well as your structures and systems, so that we can understand the exact shifts we need to move through to create sustainable success. You will always get access to one-to-one subconscious strategy calls and support along the way, so that your fears will truly never run the show again. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, then you can find out more information in the show notes, or you're also welcome to message me personally on Instagram with any questions. Now let's get back to the podcast.
I really want you guys to, whoever's listening to this, whether you're in the car, whether you're on a walk, whether you're watching this, however you are absorbing this information, I want you to start to actually just question yourself of, where am I not allowing myself to tap into and strengthen my own intuition? What are you saying that you don't know the answer to? What are you saying you don't know to? What are you saying, I'll figure out later to? Right? What are you actually passing off and passing blame to and not allowing yourself to make a decision to in the now, in the present? And if you did not allow yourself to say, I don't know, what would you do? If you were not allowed to say, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'll figure it out later, what would you do? And there's going to be two reactions that you guys are going to be having right now. Okay. Now, I know some of you listening are either going to be going, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, or, I'll do this, or, light bulb moment, this is what I'm going to do, right? And having that light bulb moment of actually giving yourself permission to go and make the decision that you knew you wanted to make deep down all along. So some of you listening just now are going to be having that light bulb moment of, actually, why have I not allowed myself to go and do this? That's because I've been ignoring that voice in my head this entire time, and actually I'm going to run with that. Well done if that is you. I want you to go and run with that. I want you to go and do that thing. On the flip side of that, I know that some of you are also going to be sitting there listening going, Alice, but I don't know. Alice, I'm not sure, or but I still don't know. And listen, I say this with love. I say this with so much love and so much like admiration for you and gratitude for you. However, the longer that you allow that excuse from yourself, the longer you're going to feel the exact same way that you currently feel inside of your business, your relationships, your life, whatever it may be. I'm going to say that one more time just because I feel like you might actually really need to hear this truth, that the longer that you choose to sit in, I don't know, or I'm not sure, or I don't know the answer, and allowing yourself to not make the answer that we both know, deep down, the longer that you play into that excuse of I don't know, the longer that you're going to stay stuck in the way that you feel just now in business, relationship, life, whatever it may be. But if you are currently feeling unfulfilled, unhappy, stretched way too thin, burnt out, at capacity, overwhelmed, panicked, and you're not allowing yourself to make changes or not allowing yourself to acknowledge that, the longer that you're going to sit in that. And the longer that that's going to be a problem as well. Because sitting in I don't know is actually just the best way to kill your intuition and also to kill it as a woman. When you kill your intuition, you are genuinely not acting as you. So if I was sitting here and I was allowing myself to sit in the thought process of I don't know, and I don't know what to launch next, or I don't know what to do next, and I was constantly sitting in I don't know, I would be acting from a place of fear. And that is not me acting as the Alice that I know and the Alice that other people know and the best version of myself. So when you actually kill your intuition, you don't allow yourself to follow through, to make those decisions, to, operate the way that you actually want to operate, you are not acting as you. You are acting as a fear. You are acting as protection. You are acting as someone who puts other people's comfort first, who lowers actually their self-standards, who lowers their self-trust, who refuses to listen to actually what they know to be true and know to be best, which actually just, again, also lowers your conviction and your confidence, your self-trust, your intuition. So killing your intuition is actually one of the worst things that you could do in your business. And again, you might be having a light bulb moment, right? But the only positive to come from killing your intuition, and I say this in hopes that you will understand with what I mean. I'm going to explain it. But the only positive to come from killing your intuition is that you get to be safe from one of your fears playing out. That is genuinely the only positive that you get. The longer that you sit in I don't know, the longer you are protected from a fear playing out. Right, you get to make other people feel comfortable whilst you make yourself smaller and smaller and smaller. And that might be financially smaller, that might be success in all of its avenues smaller, that might be as a person smaller. But as long as, you're making yourself smaller, then at least, no one is going to be offended by your success. No one is going to dislike you. No one is going to judge you. No one is, leaving you. No one is calling you out. So as long as you're actually killing your intuition, you're just protecting yourself from a fear. But the thing about fear is, again, that's you choosing to lean into that, right? We cannot sit here and actually say that, you are going to build this business and you're going to go and make that decision, whether it's to leave the relationship, the job, to launch the offer. Let's say go run with the launch the offer one, right? You cannot sit here and wholeheartedly actually sit here and go, Alice, do you know what? I know 100% I'm going to launch this offer. No one is going to buy it. How can you actually sit there and say that? I know there's a voice in your head that's going, well, I can. But there's the other voice in your head going, well, it's happened before. And that's your fear. That's the difference between leading with your intuition, what you know to be true as, your uncapped potential, and what you actually get to lean into, and your self-trust that I know is deep, deep, deep down there, no matter how many fears you have coming in, and then running your business with fear and leaning into that instead. And it's so interesting, actually. The reason that I wanted to do this podcast episode is that someone had reached out and said that, she wanted me to do an episode on this because when she was initially building her business, she was very much seeking help from others and seeking answers and comparing to other people and comparing to their success and their launches and all of this, and losing herself inside of that. And I think that's such a perfect way to potentially wrap this episode up of, if you are feeling like you are losing yourself inside of your business, I can promise you right now it's because you're not actually leading from your intuition, from your gut, from what you actually know to be true for what you want, and the success that you actually desire to have. And it would be, for example, if I was to not lead from mine, That would be me probably having a business built on like literal fucking fuel day in, day out of go, 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 hustle, 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 right? Because that would be the opposite of what I know to be true. And that would be the opposite of what I know is best for me as well, is to not actually operate that way, right? Is the best for me is to operate from a place of calm, to have space for me in my days, to have space for my clients, to support my clients from the best possible energy, and to launch, you know, genuine workshops and offers that I am genuinely proud of and genuinely so excited about, not just as a quick cash injection, but something that I know will actually create a change for the other person on the other side of that investment. Right. And so if I was operating my business from a place of just go, 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 launch something, just get people in the door and get quick cash injections, then that actually just wouldn't be me. So my final question for you guys listening is, where I asked you before that if you couldn't say I don't know, what would you do? If you were listening and you said I still don't know, or if there's anything else that you are listening, if there's anything else that you're thinking I don't know the answer to, do you actually not know the answer? Or are you sitting and I don't know because it keeps you safe from experiencing something that you are telling yourself you're not ready to face? And again, I'm just going to say that one more time as well. Do you actually not know the answer? Or are you sitting and I don't know because it actually keeps you safe from experiencing something that you're telling yourself you're not ready to face yet? Because I can guarantee you right now, if we go back to the example of launching something because you think no one's gonna buy, and it's that fear of failure, right? You're likely telling yourself that you're not ready to face another failure or another, you're not ready to pour that energy into something and for it to not work out. But you're telling yourself that. That's not the truth, because I'm sitting here and I know for a fact that you will have gone through so much worse in the past, or you will have gone through so many launches that haven't worked out in the past. I know that you're capable of moving through it, but by telling yourself that you're not ready, you get to sit and I don't know, and you get to lead from fear instead of what you deep down know to be true. So I would love for you guys to come away from this episode to really tap into what you actually know, the answer that you actually know, and also allow yourself to no longer seek approval from other people, or even seek approval from what other people are launching, or what is like, you know, a trend in the industry or whatever it may be. Tap into like what you actually deep down want and know to be true. Because the more that you do that, the more you're going to build a business that genuinely lights you up, the more you're going to be in the energy that allows you to pour from overflow, not from an empty cup. And that is genuinely something that I just want for every single person that ever listens to any of my stuff or works with me, is to actually have that capacity for genuine energetic overflow and happiness and abundance, and have a business and a personal success that lights them up every single day. So if you don't have that, then get to work, follow your intuition, go and make the changes that you need to make so that you can actually create and cultivate that. Go and allow yourself to lead from the front, lead without seeking approval, lead without needing a reassurance from your partner or from your mentor, or, you know, seeking approval from someone who else is in the industry, whatever it may be, right? Lead from the front. Trust yourself. Go and take the step that you know, and I know that you actually know deep down, even if it's uncomfortable. Just go and do it and show yourself that you can. So I'm going to love and leave you guys here. I hope that you're having a lovely day. And thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone that does listen to this podcast. It has quickly become one of my favorite things to pour into, and I have some exciting episodes coming up. And just thank you for being here. I'm so grateful. And I will see you in the next one.